I wasn't planning to come back to this house. It smelled like wood, warm dust and memory, but I needed to disappear, just for the summer. Grandma's house sat at the edge of the village. No signal, no traffic, just fields, heat, and a silence so deep it felt almost indecent. I came alone. One bag, a basket of groceries, a plaid dress, a straw hat. On the first day, I took off my shoes and walked barefoot across the old wooden porch. The dry heat kissed my skin, my body slowly unclenched. My thoughts crumbled like dry grass under my heels. And only one thing reminded me I wasn't completely alone. The neighbour. He lived just across the field, not too close, but not far either. I didn't know his name. He didn't greet me when I arrived, just looked. And somehow that look was enough to make my breath catch. I felt it. I was being noticed. The next morning, I woke up with the sun slicing through the curtains. I sat up in bed and pulled them aside. There he was, on his porch, shirt unbuttoned, hands in the dirt, gardening maybe. But when I stepped outside with my coffee, he looked at me, not for a second, not accidentally. He looked like a man who saw everything, and said nothing. I didn't smile, but something stirred in my chest. He was older, stronger, still like the soil he worked with. That day I walked to the river, came back with my skin a little sun-kissed and my hair smelling like summer wind. And on my doorstep, I found a basket, tomatoes, a few apples, a note. From your garden. I just kept it alive. The neighbour, I smiled, genuinely. For the first time in a while, I slipped into that plaid dress. Loose, airy, let him see, let him know. I read it, and I wasn't saying no. He came in the evening. I heard his steps first, software steady. I was kneeling on the porch, sorting beans into a bowl, like I used to with Grandma. The dress had slipped off one shoulder. I wore nothing beneath it, just the light sheen of sweat clinging to my neck. I didn't turn around right away. Let him come closer. Let him look. May I? He asked. I nodded, eyes still on my hands. He set down a small jar next to me. Last year's jam. Wild blueberry, if you like that sort of thing. Only then did I look up. He was standing close, not touching, but every part of him felt present. There was something slow in the way he moved, rooted, like he understood how a woman smells, without ever needing to touch her. Thank you, I said. It's been a while since I had blueberry anything. He sat beside me, quietly. We listened to the crickets. Neither of us rushed the silence. Then he asked, Is the house yours now? Or just for the summer? For summer, I said. I wanted to forget the city, people, myself. He nodded and his hand, slowly like it meant nothing, rested on the porch floor right next to mine. He didn't touch me, but I felt his warmth, felt it as if he had. He was older, and that wasn't a problem. It was exactly what I'd been missing. The sun had dipped low. The air smelled like heat, wood, and something calm. I was clearing the table, leftover food, a warm mug bread he hadn't left. He sat on the porch, back to the wall, in the shade, watching me move, slow, intentional. I still wore the same dress, but one strap had fallen too low. I knew. I didn't fix it. We barely spoke. Just... He poured me more tea. I gave him a slice of pie, and somewhere in that silence, everything was there. Words would have ruined it. I turned. He was looking at me. His eyes slid, unhurried, from my shoulder down my chest, tracing the curve of my thigh beneath the fabric, and I let him. I looked back. Not a challenge, an invitation. I stepped closer, too close, set down a cup, leant forward, saw the tension in his jaw. How he didn't move, though he could have. I could feel his breath, cooler than the summer air, right at the edge of my thigh. Still. He didn't touch me. I sat on the edge of the table. He looked up, slowly, and I whispered, "You've been waiting all this time, haven't you?" He didn't answer, but I knew he had. We sat in silence, He across from me on the edge of the table, bare feet crossed, dress parted just enough, no words, no touches. Still, I felt the pull between us tight as thread. One lean forward, that's all it would have taken, but he didn't move. He just watched, and in his eyes I saw something deeper than lust, restraint, power, a choice. I lowered my gaze, smiled, just slightly. He stood, abruptly, but not unkind, as if staying another moment would have meant not leaving at all. He walked past, no words, no gesture. I stayed where I was, my bare back catching the breeze, the silence heavier than anything he could have said. Then the gate clicked, and footsteps. He was gone, but the heat stayed, between my legs, in my chest, in my hands. And I knew he felt it too. I stepped down from the porch, barefoot, looked after him, just the path, the sunset, the sound of crickets. He didn't turn around, but on the step he had left a glove. His. I picked it up, pressed it to my cheek. It smelled like him and summer. He took nothing, asked for nothing, but he left me completely undressed. No touches, no kiss, just the kind of wanting that doesn't go away overnight.